Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen with Valentine's Day just around the corner. I wanted to share a special pasta recipe that's great not only for this holiday but year-round for any special occasion. We are going to be making a creamy and cheesy lobster mac and cheese, and this pasta recipe takes mac and cheese to a whole nother level. It's made with a 4-cheese cheese sauce topped with panko breadcrumbs and butter poached lobster tails. This elevated mac and cheese is the ultimate creamy cheesy comfort food dish. We're going to start by making the butter poached lobster tails with some shallots, garlic, and parsley. And then for that cheese sauce, we have 4 types of cheese. I also like to add in a little bit of smoked Gouda and smoked paprika for just a light hint of smokiness, and it goes so well with those lobster tails. We'll combine everything together, the pasta, the cheese, the lobster, sprinkle on some panko breadcrumbs, and then into the oven just until those crumbs are nice and crispy on the top. We'll add some more lobster on top. You are in for a real treat with this incredible recipe. This is like the ultimate foodie recipe. Don't forget to head on down into that video description box for the recipe link. I'm going to have all the details up on my website, including metric measurements. And now let's make the best lobster mac and cheese. The first thing you'll want to do when you get into your kitchen is start heating a large pot of salted water. You want to bring that up to a boil for the pasta, and we'll need 1 pound of pasta. I found this really cute pipe pasta at Whole Foods. You can also use elbow macaroni or any kind of medium-sized pasta. I have my pot going on the back burner, and now we could get to our lobster. So you can use anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 lobster tails, and that just all depends on your budget because lobster tails can be a little bit pricey, and we want to take the meat out of the shells first. We want to go from inside the lobster tail to a whole lobster tail piece. For this, you'll want to turn the tail over, grab some kitchen shears, and you want to cut right along the edge here to free this top hard part. Peel this back. And then you can just break the shell around the tail. Slide your thumb underneath to kind of loosen it from the shell. And look at this gorgeous lobster tail. And then I rinse the lobster tails in water and then pat them dry with paper towels. I'm going to keep half of my lobster tails whole. We're going to add those to the top, and the other half I'm going to cut into large chunks. And now for butter poaching the lobster, I'm heating a large frying pan over medium heat. You want to make sure the pan is not too hot. We're going to add in about 3 tablespoons of butter. And I love to use salted butter because it adds so much great flavor. Let that butter melt. To the melted butter, add in 1 finely diced shallot, 3 finely minced garlic cloves, sprinkle a little bit of parsley, a touch of sea salt, little ground black pepper. Stir and cook for about a minute until the garlic and shallots are softened. I'm going to add a little extra butter and then drop in the lobster. Cook the lobster for about 5 to 6 minutes, just until it's no longer translucent. You don't want to overcook the lobster. Transfer the cooked lobster into a separate bowl, and we're going to set it aside for now. Make sure to save this incredible garlic and shallot butter. We're going to add it back into the recipe later, and now we can get started on our cheese sauce. This cheese sauce is everything. It's so creamy, so cheesy, and I love that we use 4 different types of cheese because why not? You gotta have all the cheese. All right, start with a saute pan, and into the saute pan, you want this over medium, kind of medium-low heat. We're going to add in a 1/4 cup of salted butter. And make sure that butter gets completely melted. We're going to start by making a roux, and a roux is simply a combination of butter and flour, and it really helps thicken the sauce. Into the melted butter, add in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, We'll whisk this together and then cook for about 4 to 5 minutes, allowing that flour to get cooked. Next, we can gradually start adding in our half and half. We'll need 2 1/4 cups of half and half. I like to add about half a cup at a time and give it a really good whisk after each addition, allowing the mixture to cook and thicken. Make sure you're whisking vigorously to ensure you don't have any clumps. Pour in the last of that half and half. And now we could start to season. I'm going to add in about 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of dried garlic, 1 teaspoon of ground mustard, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 teaspoon of dried onion. Whisk that all together. And now we're ready for our cheeses. So I like to buy blocks of cheese and then grate all of my own cheese. So we have 8 ounces of aged white cheddar cheese. You can also use the orange variety. We have 6 ounces of grated Gruyere cheese. This Swiss cheese is really delicious and also melts really well and is perfect for mac and cheese. 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, and we need 4 ounces of smoked Gouda cheese. I just love having a little bit of smokiness in this pasta. And if you don't want the smoky aspect, you could skip the smoked paprika and use like a regular Gouda cheese instead. Let's drop in all this incredible cheese. Mix it in with a spatula first to get combined with the cream sauce. Cook this cheese sauce over medium-low heat for about 8 to 10 minutes, stirring constantly until that cheese is completely melted. You should have a really smooth and uniform cheese sauce. Once our cheese is nicely melted, I'm going to add in the shallot and garlic mixture that we cooked our lobster tails in. This is going to add an incredible seafood flavor to the pasta. Grab your whisk and mix that in. I also like to add some more parsley at this point. Add in your cooked, drained pasta next. And then add in that cooked lobster. I like to save the tail pieces for garnishing the top. And then just mix this all together. And then we'll transfer our mac and cheese into a nice casserole dish. Technically, you could just bake the mac and cheese in the saute pan, but I like to have a beautiful presentation, and a nice little white casserole is going to look great with this pasta. And last, we need a panko breadcrumb topping. I have half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. We're going to add in a couple tablespoons of melted butter. Add in about 1/4 teaspoon of dried garlic, a touch of parsley, and mix this all together. Sprinkle the mac and cheese with an even layer of breadcrumbs on top. And our lobster mac and cheese is ready for the oven. I have mine preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until the breadcrumbs on the top become a nice golden brown color. You can also use the broiler setting on low for this step. And I love all that bubbly hot cheese on the sides. Once you take the mac and cheese out of the oven, just top it with some chopped chives to garnish. You can add some more lobster pieces on the top to garnish the dish. Along with a nice lobster tail. Let's get ourselves some of this incredible mac and cheese, and check out how saucy that is. Isn't that incredible? It's such a creamy, cheesy sauce. And that's it for my lobster mac and cheese recipe. Don't forget to head on down into that video description box for the recipe link. I always have all the details up on my website, including metric measurements. Meanwhile, let's dig in to enjoy this incredible pasta. I recommend eating it right away as soon as it comes out of the oven. Let it cool down for like 5 minutes and then dig in to enjoy. The sauce is going to be the creamiest and the cheesiest as soon as the dish is done. And then once it stands, it kind of thickens. It's not quite the same. I mean, it's still good. It's just not the same texture. All right, let's dig in. Oh, the sauce is insanely creamy and cheesy. I love the texture. Just wow. I don't think words are enough to describe how delicious this mac and cheese is. The sauce is so creamy, savory, cheesy. I love that really very light hint of the smokiness coming through. Let's grab a chunk of lobster to go with it. This is food heaven for a foodie right here. I wish I could eat this every single day. That bite right there with that juicy, buttery lobster combined with the cheesy pasta is unbeatable. I wish I could have this every day. If you need a special dish for a special occasion or holiday, or just because you want some really good mac and cheese, this is the recipe for you. It is beyond amazing. Thank you so much for watching my latest episode. I hope you enjoyed this incredible, delicious, phenomenal dish at home, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.